Yo, I'm Hellhound, and it's about time that I review an album from my favorite band, the godfathers of heavy metal themselves, Black freaking Sabbath. A Sabbath video is long overdue on this channel, so let's talk about Master of Reality, which is probably my favorite album from the Ozzy era, though Sabotage comes close. Oh yeah. Master of Reality. Released in 1971, Master of Reality was the third album released by the band and followed Paranoid, which was probably their most successful release, chock full of radio hits. I feel like this one is slightly better than its seminal predecessor, however, and I'm going to tell you why. Master of Reality mastered the art of metal. So first, let's take a look at the lineup. As if you didn't already know the masterminds behind this pristine recording, let's introduce them anyway. Guitarist Tony Iommi, the notorious riff master, and in my eyes, at least, is Black Sabbath. Never runs out of ideas. His, songwriting skills are immaculate, and the man is just so damn talented that it feels more appropriate to label him as a god. On this album, in addition to his insanely superb fretwork, he also plays the flute, the piano, and the synthesizer. All very professionally, I might add. Tony Iommi is just my hero. Wow, the man is simply a genius. And he tuned his guitar down even more than usual on this album, and it makes for some truly evil-sounding tunes, which, still contained a huge blues influence. And vocalist Ozzy Osbourne, has such a unique style that no one has ever really tried to emulate. And his eerie voice was a perfect fit for early Sabbath, and a huge contributor to their awesome sound. His voice is instantly recognizable and quite imposing. Combined with the fact that Tony Iommi had to tune down his guitar after losing some of his fingertips in an accident at the steel mill he worked at the time, Ozzy's doom-ridden voice was just perfect for the band, a band whose lyrical themes mostly dealt with the occult and the darker side of life. Whatever other band at the time was singing about flower power, Sabbath was taking things in a much more sinister direction. Hence the birth of heavy metal. And those gloomy lyrics, by the way, were written by none other than bassist Geezer Butler, who, in my opinion, is the second most important member in the band next to Iommi. I know you're probably thinking, what about Ozzy? Well, really, he was only in the band for like 10 years. Which is a long time. And, when you really look at the big picture, he's kind of a small part of their history. I know he's easily the most famous and recognizable and iconic, member of the band. His successful solo career speaks volumes. In fact, he has a reality show, and, he's just so famous, so well known. He's like a modern day Elvis, pretty much. But, when it comes to Sabbath themselves, I consider Iommi and Geezer a little more integral to the core of the band. Geezer's top-notch bass lines and energetic on-stage performance are certainly a huge reason why this band's so phenomenal. And then there's drummer Bill Ward, who gives yet another great performance and has a distinctive style that further contributes to what Sabbath is all about. Bill's groovy drum beats really stand out on songs like After Forever and Lord of This World. He's just a master behind the drum kit. I don't know whether I prefer him or Vinny Appice. It's a really hard choice. I think Vinny Appice is a little more flashy and kind of all over the place. A little more show-offy, which, could be considered a good thing. But, Bill's drumming on, the Ozzy era, those first albums is just, second to none. So, it's a perfect fit for Sabbath. Speaking of the songs, the track list here is definitely by far some of Sabbath's greatest work. There really isn't a bad song to be found here. It opens with Sweet Leaf, and as soon as you hear Tony Iommi's iconic coughing that goes right into that extremely catchy riff, you're in for something particularly impressive. And the song, quite obviously written about marijuana, has some great rhythms and exceptional Ozzy vocals. Over the years, it's become a fan favorite and a standard part of their set list. Next is After Forever, a really heavy track that contains one of my all-time favorite Iommi riffs and one of the best solos as well. Geezer's lyrics openly praise Christianity and endorse, following God. Um, which some may find unexpected, but really, although Satanism was a frequent topic in Sabbath's lyrics, they never actually advocated actually worshiping it. They're usually all wearing crosses and most photographs as well. So they're obviously religious. They kind of sang about how Satanism, kind of like Iron Maiden, they sang about how Satanism was like wrong, and they kind of preached against it. Ozzy saying, "Oh God, no," in the song Black Sabbath, singing about demons and stuff taking over. It wasn't supposed to be a good thing, but you could tell they're definitely interested in that sort of thing, and I am as well, obviously. And I don't practice witchcraft, but I certainly study it and am very intrigued by it. Yeah, I don't really care for being preached at, but the song is just incredible. After Forever, and I certainly do appreciate the passion that Geezer has for his faith. I also find it kind of humorous that the last song was about weed and the next is religion, right after. I don't know, it's just kind of funny to me. I could be alone on that. But the third track is a short instrumental piece called Embryo, which goes right into the fast-paced and aggressive Children of the Grave. Easily one of the top greatest Sabbath tunes of all time. Lyrically occupied with a thought-provoking war and terror theme. This track is just badass, and I could never get tired of it. The opening riff just gets louder and heavier as you begin to headbang uncontrollably. Tongue-tied. Geezer really excels whenever he writes about war. Just look at War Pigs from the last album. But yeah, Children of the Grave is definitely a Sabbath favorite. There's a really good live version of it on the Past Lives album, so check that out if you haven't already. They do, I love when they play it in concert. But yeah, great song. Next we have another short instrumental, Orchid, which is really good. Followed by Lord of This World, another great song featuring some excellent vocals from Mr. Osborne and another untouchable guitar solo from Mr. Iommi. But it's the next track, Solitude, that is one of the most beautifully written and melodic musical pieces I have ever heard. So moving and heartfelt. Wow. It's akin to Planet Caravan from the last album, only this time they didn't put any distortion on Ozzy's vocals. He used a Leslie speaker and Caravan, and when you listen to the original version of the song, I think it was much better. The lyrics are kind of cheesy. I think Ozzy probably wrote them before Geezer rewrote them to be about like exploring space or something. But very trippy song, by the way. But yeah, Ozzy didn't distort his vocals this time, and that was definitely a good thing. Sometimes I forget that the man can actually sing this freaking good when he wanted to. This was definitely one of the finest vocal performances of his career. His entire career, just so emotive and harmonious. I really wish he had done more like this. It's like whenever I listen to the song, I'm just like, oh wow, Ozzy, hot damn, This is like, I feel bad for the guy. It just sounds like a tortured soul, just pouring his heart out, But yeah, very very beautifully written. Well done, guys. Yeah, I really wish Ozzy had done more like that. Geezer's lyrics are really melancholic and mournful, dealing with a recent breakup, that has left the speaker torn apart and void of happiness. It's sung from the point of view of somebody who's going through relationship issues, and if somebody wrote that song now, people might label it as emo, but this awesome song predated that stupid, dumb, ridiculous term by like 40 years. But yeah, I love this song so much that I insisted on covering it in 3 different bands I've been in. That's right, 3. Tony Iommi's killer flute playing and Geezer's melodic bass lines just make it that much better. Wow, I'm just blown away by this song. Then the album closes with Into the Void, which is another favorite of mine and another Sabbath staple. When I saw Sabbath live, I just about lost control when they started playing this song. It truly was a euphoric moment that I'll never forget. I was just like, yes! I lost it. Yeah, from the ominous and unforgettable opening riff to the stellar verse, this song just kicks your ass. And despite being way different in style from most bands of the 70s, you can still tell they're essentially hippies, from the kind of protect the environment, dude, lyrical theme. But all in all, yeah, Master Reality is an all-around amazing album from an amazing band. Buy it! I cannot stress that enough. Yes, let's try to get the glare. That's right. Master of Reality. Check it out. Alright guys, well, Sabbath's my favorite band. This is probably my favorite album they've ever done. I'd like to review an album from the Dio era next. Maybe not my next video, but probably the next CD review that I do, possibly. And also check out the earlier video I did with my buddy Dr. Guts, Into the Pit. I recorded that earlier. We talked about Cannibal Corpse, the Chris Barnes era, Force 4 album, so check that out if you haven't already. And until next time, I'm Hellhound. Thank you for watching my show, and keep it metal.